Hi, everybody. Welcome to Down Syndrome 21st Perspectives. I'm Lee Ferlisi. I'm here with my co-hosts, Ann Lewis and Monique Johnson. And we have a very special topic today. We're talking about being a sibling of a child with Down syndrome. And we have two very wonderful siblings right here with us today. We have Dari Garner and Jane Lewis, and they both have siblings with Down syndrome. So I'm going to start with you two, if you don't mind. Put you on the spot.
Let's jump in.
And then the moms can jump in. So Jane, can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to have a sibling with Down syndrome? And for everybody here, Jane is Ann Lewis's daughter. So tell us a little bit more.
For me, I think it's pretty similar, especially because I've never experienced being an older sister to a typical child. But I can say that there's like moments where it's like a bit irritating or annoying, but there's like, but that's just like what a normal like little brother does. And like, he always is like tuning in on my emotions and being like, are you happy? Like, what can I do? And I think that like he's definitely made a big impact in my life. Sweet. And there's not much of a difference that I can say, especially because he's still so young. But,
Right. And Dari, who is Monique's daughter. Tell us a little bit of what it's like for you to have a sibling with Down syndrome.
When Marley was born and my mom was telling me and my brother Kingston, oh, Marley, he has Down syndrome. And this means that he is, has special needs and he's a little bit different from that of you and your brother. And to me, I feel like I was just like, oh, he's just different, as in like he's different like how we're all different. Like we all have our own personalities and like that of who we are. And as I grew up and, became older, I started to like understand more of like, oh, okay, like, yes, like Down syndrome, as in like he has a different outlook on life and a different way of perceiving and taking things in. So, but Marley has always been like just a ray of sunshine, like in my life and my family's life. And I've always been a very overprotective sister. And I mean, I'm the eldest daughter, eldest sister. So I've always had that like, protective, like kind of sense of being. So, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. What have you learned from having a sibling with Down syndrome? Have they taught you anything? Either one of you can answer.
Good question.
I can go. I think that I've developed a lot of sympathy towards everyone and just kind of realizing that even though everyone's different, we all need to be treated the same. And like she said, I'm a bit overprotective by the way people treat him because I feel like sometimes people are kind of like belittling towards him or like, oh, like trying to like baby talk him or something. And I don't like that. And I like when people just kind of act normal and like just like reason with him and stuff like that. So I think I've developed a lot of sympathy towards that and just like my outlook on life. And like I've joined clubs for people with special needs. And I just think that my way of thinking has changed like completely.
That's beautiful.
That
really,
is beautiful.
really beautiful. How about for you, Dari?
Yes, I agree with that of how people baby talk like to Marley, my brother. Growing up, I was always like, you don't have to talk like that, like talking to him as if he's like a puppy or doesn't fully understand what you're. I mean, like, yeah, he's cute, he's super cute, but he also, especially now, he's a teenager. Like, if you go and you try to speak to him like that, he's gonna be like, "What's wrong with you? What's your deal?" Literally. So, I think that he has impacted me in, obviously, like you said, definitely having more empathy for others, more patience. I don't know, because I've also had Kingston, who's my other brother. So I'm just like, I feel that it's always kind of been the same. It's just like, oh, another little brother. So just that of being more responsible, taking, care of what I need to take care of. And
And I think to your Dari's point, I think that for her, being the eldest, the oldest too, I think played a part in that. As her mom, I totally see her being the protector, right? She's always on the lookout. Like, okay, is Marley good? And she is amazing. She's an amazing big sister. Yeah. But as she just shared too, she's also that way with her brother Kingston. So being the oldest has just created that place where she's always felt that need, if you will, to be responsible. To be protective.
Right. And I don't think those things are all positive. I feel like sometimes they can be an overwhelming sense of responsibility, wanting to be that protective sister, wanting to take care of, my younger brothers, be there for them. And I think at a certain point in my life when I was little, I overdid it. I was always with Marley, oh my gosh, Marley can walk now. So he's walking off this way, walking off that way. My middle child brother, Kingston, who is all over the place. He's here, he's there. Oh, he wants to run and jump off this huge rock and do a flip and do this. And Marley is looking at all of this. So he's like, I want to do that too. And so I'm sitting here having literally a panic attack.
And your mom's gonna be Dari, how'd you let them fall off a rock?
I'm oh my gosh. And Kingston's come on, Marley, you can. I'm no,
he cannot do that.
I'm at some point, but I'm so it definitely was a very interesting dynamic of, Marley literally looking up to his brother, of course, and my brother Kingston being very rowdy. And
So you found yourself balancing, right? A lot of balancing.
But I will say that to because of that, Marley doesn't really have any fear.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? That's the other positive thing about it, even though it's nerve-wracking as heck.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
Do y'all see that with Fritz? I mean,
I think, Fritz isn't scared of anything or anyone. He will go up to anyone, give them a big hug and a big kiss. Yeah. He doesn't care.
In lines. We'll be in lines at restaurants and he'll be up. Yeah. And to some stranger, and the guy looks at us and go ahead, you can pick him up. I don't care.
I love it.
It's interesting listening to you talk, though, because we have another daughter who's 3 years older than Jane, and I think she took on the role that you're describing, whereas I see Jane more as she's a little bit more like me personality-wise, I think, and she is teaching him all the time, all the time, and she's makes him do conversations, and she makes him she kind of like a baddie like that.
That's awesome.
But and it's interesting because I was wanting to know what career path, because Jane is looking into being a teacher, and I can see it coming out in her.
Totally
wanting to make him learn all the time and not settling for, like you guys said, the baby talk and the
definitely
expanding his speech and everything.
Yes, definitely. I'm in a more creative field, so I am a wardrobe designer, stylist for films. And
that's funny. That's Jane
That's
too.
So cool.
So kind of organizing. So a lot of organizing, a lot of talking with people, and it's all in a creative.
Yeah, that's neat. What a neat career.
Yeah, so it's very fun. Interacting with people in that way. With Marley, I feel definitely he takes a lot of creativity, and we're able to share it together. My interests becoming his interests, whether we're I'm diving into different music from different cultures, K-pop, and Marley now is obsessed with K-pop, even though I was from years ago. And I'm sometimes I'll listen, but he's has on the TV on YouTube playing like a song that we used to like dance to way back.
The kitchen. We have a playlist they made for Fritz's favorite song, and it's like
it's everything from like Do Re Mi to like Rich Baby Daddy.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he needed a walk-up song for Little League.
Yeah,
and it was
I love it.
We can't play some of the songs he loves.
Well, it sounds like Fritz and Marley love music.
His brother Max, who's 22, makes beats.
Exactly. So Kingston.
So he's like Kingston, and so Max would like crawl up the stairs to Max's room and just like sit. Like he couldn't even walk yet, and he would just sit there, and Max would have this massive rap music playing. And Fritz just thought it was the best.
How has this changed like your perspective on things? I don't know if it's affected you at all. It probably has. It kind of sounds like it has changed your life.
100%. I mean, as I grew older and I'm in my 20s now, and I have a boyfriend and we've been together for a long time now, and just thinking about like the future, I'm like, oh wow. So at some point, you know, obviously life takes, you know, there's life and there's death. I'm not trying to be like, yeah, you're gonna die.
I say it all family, like, who's gonna take it?
Yeah.
Which sibling?
You're totally fine. We've talked about this, so you're right on topic. So keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah. So taking in that aspect of, at some point, Marley will become my dependent.
Yeah.
And so taking that role of, you know, it's a whole other step of like responsibility. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not too freaked out about it because I feel like I've been doing this my whole life.
Right.
Yeah.
Like most of the time it's just me, Marley, and my mom, because my brother was living in Atlanta for a while and sometimes he just stayed with my dad. And so basically it's like, yeah, it's me and my mom raising Marley together.
Wow.
Like me being the second parent that I felt like. Driving Marley to school, picking him up from school, making his
I can't wait till
food
the
after
driver's
school.
license.
And it's cute though because Dario would make a lot of videos. You know,
the
so we have those.
TikTok
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
Jane does that all the time with Frizz. I'm like, send me that. I need to put it on my Instagram.
So are you ready to drive?
Oh, I'm so ready.
I'm like the boys because Kingston did not get his driver's license till way later.
Yeah.
So when he moved to Atlanta, he was not interested in driving anywhere.
Right.
Which probably was a good thing.
He crashed two cars.
Oh, no. One of the things I say to my girls.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Oh.
I always tell the girls, like, Fritz is like a barometer. Like, I always say it's like a dog that can smell good people.
This is true.
Because he gravitates toward the people that have good souls.
spirits.
And,
Yeah.
It's totally
so
true.
it helps the kids know who their, like, good friends are.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
100%.
I agree.
Yeah. Marley's always like, oh, Kevin. Kevin's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
His name.
Yeah.
And every time we come over, he's just like, hey, Kevin, let me know if you need anything. Nothing to me. Nothing. I'm not even there.
He doesn't say, sister, hey, darling.
He's like, hey, darling. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Marley's like, sup.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, all right.
This is true.
I'm like, how could you do this?
You know,
All right, wait. Can I ask really quick? I want you guys to tell everybody something that is like we're obviously it's wonderful, but there are siblings out there that are struggling and they're having a hard time. So why don't you say like some of the things that aren't so great so that you can make others feel, it always makes me feel like, oh, I'm not the Lone Ranger and I'm not the only one feeling these emotions because I certainly have them as the mother. So
Absolutely.
I just want to be like really real and let people know that.
Yeah.
And like Jane said in the beginning, it's just like having
a typical sibling.
But there are some lingering, some different issues that last longer. Like for us, I feel like he's 5.5, and I see other like 6-year-olds on our street. They're running in and out of each other's houses. They're on play dates. They're doing this or that, and I'm still like spoon feeding sometimes. So it's a longer process.
And you're missing those milestones or those typical, if you will, milestones.
Right.
And that will be really the reality is that for us, that will be their whole lives. However, the beautiful thing is, which we have to remind ourselves of, is that they will get there.
Exactly.
Right? But it's just
I'm not a patient person.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, Ann.
I know. You
help me with
that.
It's going to be good. I promise you.
Well, and that's what helps because it's like, you guys are ahead of us in this deal.
That's right.
When I had Fritz,
Exactly.
I had all of the kids pulled out of school and we were so excited. And then the guy's telling me that he thinks that he has Down syndrome. And I just was like, I'm never going to see my other kids. I'm going to have to always be doing stuff. And I just thought, oh no, and they're going to be so disappointed. Like I ruined it for and so. Anyways, it has not turned out to be that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Those were my initial worries.
Once he is running in and out of the door and going, you're going to be like, oh no, I don't want it.
Right.
Well, share the story about when Marley got lost in the woods and we didn't know at the house.
No.
There's so many stories.
Right.
I need to put a chip on Fritz. An apple.
I told my mom that I was like, we have to inject a chip. I'm too stressed.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Marley, we lived in Noonan, Georgia, and we lived out in the country, this big old country house. And me and my brother Kingston, all the time, we would just go off into the woods and explore. There's like acres of land. And one day, Marley, I guess, was probably trying to like follow us or do, try to, basically just like tag along or something. And my uncle is there and he's like, where's Marley? I don't see Marley. And I was like, he was in the house with you. And then I'm like, oh, I think he was trying to go play with y'all. And I'm like, no, like Marley, we're looking everywhere in the house. Levels are starting to like go up a little. It's the sun is setting. I'm like, oh my God. I was
and mind you, I'm teaching. I'm teaching a college course and they're doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so we're going around, we're like shouting, Marley, Marley, Marley. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to like go into the woods. Or me and my brother Kingston ran off into the woods to look for him. We're looking all over.
What age was he?
He was probably four. He was little. He was
4.
He was little. And we're all like looking around. It's starting to get like intense.
Right.
Only to so the house is like kind of on a hill and there's like a downstairs like patio area.
Yeah.
And right under that patio, there's like a little tiny hill that dips into, not a cliff, but a little hill that, dips
goes
into
even
a lot
lower,
of like grass and high like weeds and everything. And he's just right there in these little like prickly bush things.
With the dog.
Yeah, with the dog.
Like just having fun, like he wants to be there.
He's just like chilling there.
And you can hear them calling him.
Yes.
They're little stinkers.
And he's just there,
That's
chilling.
where Fritz is right now. That's the age I'm in.
We were right in the perimeter of him, and he heard us calling him, and he's very vocal at that time as well. So I'm like, what are you doing?
He just gave us a heart attack.
He's just there in his diaper, just like chilling out. And then I'm like, oh my gosh.
So that's what you have to get right.
I'm trying to think, honestly. I mean, he's so young that like there's not many crazy stories, but
what are some of the hard things about having him around sometimes?
I think that since he's only 5, it's hard to like kind of put him like on, like there's certain things that he is on level with typical kids. So it's a bit different because I haven't experienced like a bunch of things. But there are scenarios when like I just want to like talk to him about my day or like him to actually like tell me about what's going on. And like it's just the conversations aren't there yet. And so sometimes that's hard for me.
I agree.
But like he's listening, and like I can just rant to him about whatever's happening in my life, and he'll be like, "Yeah, right." And even if he doesn't listen, like at least
listener,
I'm like
getting it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So cool.
And it's
Oh, sorry. How old is Fritz?
He's 5.
Oh, okay, 5. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
How about for you, Dari? What's challenging?
Not listening. The not listening.
Well, yeah, 100%. He gets that from his brother.
Does he still repeat things like constant?
Oh, yeah. No,
That's what is aggravating.
Marley
in our house.
he has like the whole entire essence and personality and being of my brother Kingston down to a T. Marley wants to be his brother Kingston. So it's actually like insane how he's picked up things throughout the years, like when Kingston was like younger and like getting into like, wanting to do beats and music and rap and I'm gonna go and hang out with my friends and do this and do that. And he literally says phrases and says things that Kingston word for word said like a long time ago. Like it's like he's like copying the timeline progression of his brother. And it blows my mind every time. Like videos that he watches, games that he wants to play.
That's good though. I mean, they need that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
But we know, to Dari's point, we know that he has the capacity. He remembers
he's
those
taking
things.
in all that
He
memories.
remembers
Crazy.
all of
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
He's just telling you. He can't articulate every single thing, but
Yeah.
he's
He
showing you.
remembers.
He's showing you every single thing. Like Dari said, it's like, wait a minute. And I would say, Dari, why is he doing that? And she's like, don't you remember Kingston used to do that?
Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah, because I had to deal with Kingston too. I remember my brother.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
I'm like, Mom, I'm telling you, he's
Yeah,
copying
that's what
Kingston. And then like a year goes by and she's like, oh my gosh, you were right. Like,
I guess I'm the parent, so we're the parents.
Right,
so I'm just parenting. I'm trying to like do this thing.
Right. And they're all up in their rooms together.
Exactly.
Yeah, Fritz is a big copycat. Like, I think I've picked up on that too. And like, there's certain times where like I'll try to purposely do something so that he will do it too. Or like, there's
That's what I mean. She's always teaching him.
There's like situations where
so
like
cool.
he doesn't want to do something, and like my parents will be like, "Come on, Fritz, let's do this," and I'll be like, "Yay!" Like I'm so excited, and then he says the exact same thing.
Aww.
So yeah,
You sound like an amazing big sister.
Really
definitely. I feel like there
kudos
is
to you.
something that a habit that I've been trying to get rid of when I'm talking to Marley, and I guess it's just from when he was little, and so it's like ingrained in my head. I say myself in like third person. I'm like, Dari's gonna go over here, and maybe you should come over here with me, with Mom and Dari, and we can do this. And I'm like, I keep doing that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I guess from when he was little, like. You know, so
he understood.
Understanding like that of who I am and that of like, okay, I'm Dari and this is, and I always find myself doing that like all the time. I always say,
it is interesting.
Yeah, I always,
But the cool thing is you're aware of it.
Yeah, I know, and I'm always like, I wasn't trying, but it's like so comes out so, and I'm like trying to just switch this saying like, oh. I want to, because he knows who I am, so I don't need to like refer to myself anymore. Yeah, it's just habit.
Well, I was gonna say that Jane and your daughter, tell me, Katie, you all have lots to look forward to, just in terms of like teenage years.
Yeah,
oh my goodness,
I can't wait.
Okay, puberty. Talk about being typical.
Oh gosh.
Everything about
another
Marley
teenager that's going to be annoyed with me.
Everything about you got it, baby. You got it, right, Dari? He is a typical. Marley is a teenager.
Yeah. He wants a girlfriend.
I mean, he wants a girlfriend. He wants to go out on a
rolling
date.
his eyes.
Yes, he wants to do it all. I mean, in the morning, like he does. He's a morning person, so he'll get up and get dressed, and I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
But he's all about what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Is Fritz very strong-willed?
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, very
that's
strong.
strong.
I feel like we're always bribing him too. Well, like first you have to do this, and then you can listen to your music.
we have to
then
do that
you can, it's nonstop.
That too. Yeah, we do.
It gets exhausting, you know, and then she'll step in because she'll see me like by dinner time when I finally see them. I'm just like, oh my god,
it's your turn.
Yeah. Well, no, but like, it's the other day I said, Jane, I pay $20 an hour for babysitting. Like I need someone for 1 hour. I can call someone or you can do it and I'm going to pay you. And that was the first time since I never wanted them to feel like they're responsible for, my child.
We need to run my tab. No. Sorry, chime in though, because mommy felt the same way, right? I mean, I relied on you all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I felt the same way. Like I didn't want her to feel like it was their responsibility. But really, the reality is that it's the whole family's responsibility.
Yeah.
I for myself, I missed all of my additional family support because a lot of my family and people live in other cities and states.
Same with us.
And so to me, that was my biggest, scariest thing. Like, oh my God, coming back to Houston, I was like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to get my support? Where is my support going to come from? And it's worked out. But I definitely was very concerned about that. And I did rely on my kids a lot. And I felt like I had to say to them, I'm so sorry, but mommy's really going to need you. When Dari went off to college, I used a couple of those, services, the whatever it's called.
The babysitting.
Like respite kind of thing. And this one lady came and she was just horrible. She was like late, over an hour late. And then I was like, no. This isn't going to work.
Yeah, no.
So I just take Marley with me pretty much. I mean, if no one's around, hey, you're coming with me.
Yep.
So.
He's your buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
So moms, I have a question for you. So looking at your beautiful daughters and your other kids and your family who have helped out, like you've talked a little bit about it, Monique, but how do you feel when you see them stepping up for responsibility, with their sibling and knowing what the future could look like for them too, as a parent, when you look at your kids? Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Obviously it's an enormous amount of like pride and love for seeing that, and it makes us cry a lot actually because my husband too, he's such a baby, but he cries a lot, which is nice. But when you see any of your kids being with kids and being nice and loving, but it is a different level with Fritz and watching him get so excited with them. They don't come home until almost dinner time even, and then the other ones are out of the house and he misses them and they're in college and it's just the bond that they have. Like one of my favorite memories is after we eat dinner, we always are like cleaning up the dishes in the house and we have a Siri. Siri.
The home pod.
Yeah, the home pod. So Fritz, like Marley loves music. And so it was like a dance party every night. And then some of the times, if the girls did have to go somewhere after dinner, just to I'm going to run over to CVS and get whatever, I'd be like, take Fritz. Just give me 10 minutes to do the dishes without Fritz. But so they would go and they'd put him in the car and they would jam out to their music. And Fritz learns so much by doing that and has these experiences with them doing that stuff. So, and like I said about Max with the, and just that there's a bond too with the boy, just seeing him with him and he's so much older and he was actually gone. I mean, Fritz was only, I think 16 Max was when he was born. So when Max left for California, so they didn't see each other that often. So it was always very special when they were all together. And Fritz doesn't forget and he remembers. That was always my fear. Is he going to forget them? But
Fritz has a soft spot for Max.
Yeah. And the girls are like, what the hell? We do everything with you.
He'll give us hugs for 2 seconds and he sees Max and he just is
he lays on him.
That's Marley.
That's Marley.
I think it's like a brotherly wanting to be your brother, idolizing.
Yeah, it's interesting that they even know that. Yeah, the way the girls are with each other, Fritz knows.
Yeah, he totally does that. Yeah, Marley totally does that with Kingston. He's all in. But to your question about how do you feel
with him?
Oh, Kingston loves him. I mean, he's very he's gotten
is he less patient maybe?
He's gotten more structured since he's been gone and come back. He's a lot more aware of how he interacts with Marley now.
Okay.
Right? Before he was just kind of like, I'm doing my thing. And I'm like, well, Kingston, Marley's watching you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whatever you're doing. But now he's taken on that role. Marley, did you hear what mommy said? You know, Marley, you know, you need to do. I mean, it's just, I'm right, Dari?
Does he
I'm
listen
amazed.
to him?
Yeah. Does he listen to him? I mean, I'd say,
100%.
he listens to him because he wants to
listens to
please
him
him.
out
He
of-
listens to
they're
him.
sweet.
He definitely wants to please him. But in terms of how it makes me feel when I see the kids, more specifically Dara, but now Kingston since he's back, I just feel like they've already expressed to me, hey, Mom, we're already thinking about what we're going to do for Marley's future. You know, and that just, you can't make someone feel that way. You know what I mean? You cannot, you can raise someone in a loving home and in a family to have loving kindness and to have, you know, empathy and to have concern for others, but you can't make someone be that person. And so that's what I'm most thankful for. And Kingston's always saying, yeah, you know, when Marley's going to have a place with me and, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? You all can go through that.
I'm all right.
Yeah, we're gonna have a house with a
like,
back.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Gonna be like the,
But that
what's
was
it
the
called
Belgian
in
Barbie.
Jake and I,
Barbie?
we've
The
always-
Mojo Dojo
We're-
Yeah.
We used to be like, oh, we're moving, and I'm going to go find a state with better services and
Yeah,
this and
that's
that. And then now that it's getting like real and the kids are older, and I think, well, wait, they're going to meet people and they're going to get married and they're going to want to live here, and I'm not leaving them. And Fritz is going to have a relationship with their kids.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, the same with
I mean-
Reggie, and that's my my ex. You know, he lives here, and so it's important that Marley has time with his dad. It's just very important, and so that's one of the reasons why I have stayed, even though most of my support's in other cities, right?
Wow.
Because Reggie's from Houston, and we were married, and we lived here, and so it just makes sense. And Reggie's a very important, very much an integral part of his life.
Yeah, of course. Jane is in a club called Best Buddies at Lamar High School, and Marley is a part of that. And so every day at lunch, Jane goes into Best Buddies and hangs out with Marley.
Yeah. I was actually just talking about it the other day. I was like, Marley, did you know I'm going to be on your mom's
is funny.
podcast? And he just went off. He was like, okay, yes, the podcast, it's about me. And
It's about me.
It was really funny, but definitely I always see him. He loves the boys. Like he looks up to all the boys, and they're like my friends too. So it's really sweet to see that. He's kind of warmed up to me because I'm a girl, and I guess it's a little weirder, but yeah, he's always going off to the school store with the boys and getting stuff. And he's always dancing at the parties we have, in a circle. He lets everyone get around him.
Yeah.
He has some good moves. So
So badly, I wish I could be a fly on the wall seeing Marley at
Well,
school.
Jane can tell you.
For sharing
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
course.
Oh my gosh, it's nice to know that he's interacting in all these different ways.
Sitting
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, instead of
sidelines.
just being in his classroom, just there and staying at the desk all day. Actually, school life, walking around. Doing
handshakes and stuff.
I've heard of that. I've seen him. He has selfies with a whole bunch of kids and stuff, and I'm like, Marley, are you popular?
Yes.
What? I'm like, who are these people?
That's so cute.
It is
What?
cute.
I see on his phone. Sometimes I'll go through his phone because I'm just all what you got going? And I'm also that tech savvy. I'm tech savvier than my mom, so sometimes I just help out with
She's the
monitoring
patrol.
his phone.
All
of that stuff.
Googling.
All of that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I have all of the
Parental controls.
parental controls on his phone because my mom was always asking me Tari, can you please help me with you? So I was like, I'm just gonna make me the parental control, so then I can just whatever you need, I'll just do it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that too. I can't wait for him to have a phone and text them and they have their own conversation.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna blow up your phone.
And let me just say, and that's the wonderful thing is he's been more responsible with the phone than his brother Kingston.
Yeah.
He keeps up with his phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. Everybody does. All the kids
and he
do.
answers. He calls me at the right time. Every day, he says, "Hey, Mom, I'm leaving. I'm about to go. I'll see you in a little while." And then he says, I'm so hungry.
Oh.
Seems like he calls
Every
everyone
day.
but me.
Yes.
I'm like starting to realize I think he calls everyone once he gets out of school but
He
me.
calls you. Oh, he doesn't call you?
No.
Well, you better tell him.
Does he
Marley
call
wants you to
you?
call.
Yeah, he has like, I
Lately.
see him, so I guess I see him
exactly.
sometimes. So. And he'll send like random texts sometimes.
Yes.
Very nice. Well, to wrap up, I'd love to hear what advice you have for other siblings with,
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
a brother or sister with Down syndrome.
When things get like frustrating and stuff, you just have to like remember that like they're the same. It's a blessing that you get to be frustrated with them, and like you are lucky to have the annoyances and like have the things that might bug you, because like in the end they're just like, he's just my little brother.
Yeah.
And so like when I get annoyed by some things or confused by like why like he's not kind of on track with everyone, or why I can't experience certain things that I will eventually get to experience, it's just like he's his own person and he's adding things to my life right now that I wouldn't trade for anything else.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, really sweet. And Dari,
What was the question?
what would your advice be for other kids out there who have siblings with Down syndrome?
You have other responsibilities that others don't. Like, say your friends are all going to go hang out, and your friends have their siblings, but their siblings, say there's younger siblings the same age as, your sibling that has special needs, and they're like, oh yeah, they'll be fine. Like, I'm gonna just leave them here and hang out with y'all. It's like, in my case, I can't just like leave him like,
That's a good point.
yeah, guys, I'm on my way. I'm gonna, or if my mom's like, oh, I need to go and run this errand, Dari, like, could you watch Marley for a second? It's like, I can't just, jump up and go run off of my friends or something like that. I always have to take into play that of like, okay, like telling my friends like, oh yeah, I gotta just wait till my mom gets back home and then I'll be able to hang out. But just taking that in as not something that's holding you back, but that of something that is just your responsibility, and that of it being, at some point, obviously, he or the kid with your sibling with special needs definitely will be able to, be alone for certain amounts of time. Like with Marley, he's able to be alone for like, after school, maybe like 2 hours or something. And just knowing that you're not alone and feeling that you may not be able to do certain things or hang out at certain times or, but yeah, just knowing that it's not something that's holding you back. Yeah.
Right.
Because I feel like people probably feel like, oh, like because I have this sibling with special needs, it's going to hold me back. Like whether it's now or in the future. And it's not.
Yeah.
It is, this is just your life, and it's beautiful. If anything, it's like
you've grown from it too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even more than maybe
That feels
Exactly.
good for me to hear, because that was obviously one of my fears that would happen, because I am going to die, and I don't ever. I felt like I had this push to make Fritz as independent and high functioning as possible, because the kids are going to be with him, and I wanted to make their life as easy as I possibly can, so that when I was gone, I didn't want them to be like, ugh, Mom, put this burden on me. But I also, for myself, because I feel very similar to you, because I'm, I have 50-year-old friends who are, all their kids are gone, and they're going to the wine country, or they're doing this or that, and it's like, I have a 4-year-old, or whatever age he was. I remember I was breastfeeding and people were going off for their 50th birthdays, and I'm like, sorry, I'm nursing. Like, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do.
Well, and speaking to you from that perspective, Anne, as a 50-plus something year old, it just gets better.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. I mean, Fritz is going to be independent. He is going to be able to do certain things on his own. Just like Dari said, Marley, now at first in the beginning, we were like, oh my God, we can't leave him. But we taught him. We said, okay, Marley, you're going to be responsible. You know, we gave him a key and we said, hey, this is how you're going to open the door and this is how you're going to do these things. And he rose to that expectation.
You have to do that.
And not only that, it gave him a sense of amazing independence, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And then if you don't do, just like your typical child, if you don't exercise good decision making, then guess what? You're going to lose that privilege. And so that's what we say to him. Now, Marley, do not cook. Do not do any cooking.
Do you think saying that to him though is like, oh, maybe I'm gonna cook?
Well,
you had to tell him
he's
no.
done breaks. He's done breaks. I mean, you know, come on. They watch stuff and like, Marley, where did you get that from? Like, you know what I mean? Like pranking, doing silly little things like pranks.
Like calling people.
Yeah, well, like for example, stuff like dishwashing stuff,
soap
liquid
in like someone's like drink.
Yeah, like silly stuff, like a prank, right? Like, no, that's not a good idea. And where'd you get that from? Oh, I saw it on TV. You know, like, okay.
Yeah,
so
once he put Windex and
like
Kingston's
you can't
water.
do that.
Oh no, watch out.
Smell it. You can smell
Luckily,
it. But it's teenager. I mean, once we told, like, Marley, no, that's not funny.
Yeah.
That's another thing Fritz says.
Let's not do that.
It's funny.
Anytime you tell Fritz no, he goes, it's funny. I go,
right.
It's not funny.
Right?
No, it's funny.
So I would just say that it just gets better. It really does.
Well, and it's a new
You're creating
experience.
that-
I keep telling myself, I'm like, I raised these 3
Yes, you
healthy
did.
children and, you know, whatever. They were easy and, you know, and now I'm having this experience. And it's not bad. It's just different. And it's another life experience that is honestly growing me.
Yeah. And you're blessed because not everybody gets chosen.
Yeah.
Remember?
Just knowing
Chosen
that, like,
few.
everything isn't peaches and cream and sunshine and rainbows, you know.
But you know, it isn't for other people either.
Yeah,
You know, there's
yeah.
friends of mine that are dealing with
Exactly.
things with their own children that are hard things.
Yes.
Yeah.
That they did not think were going to happen in their life.
Right.
And now they're having to
Sure.
deal with these major things that they wouldn't want. And you just never
Those
know.
obstacles happen in life in general, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
It's just how we meet the challenges. Well, I want to thank you all for being here today.
Thank
Especially
you.
the girls.
Thanks,
Yeah, you guys were awesome. Thanks
You
for
are
coming.
Thanks for
Amazing siblings, right? I mean, amazing. You and moms, we have to give it to you too, that you raised amazing kids. So we want to thank you all for joining us for Down Syndrome 21st Perspectives, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank
See you
you.
later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.